tons when you're picking rows. Why the hell you remove the cap from the gas? Transformation in we mass. Now what in me tanky can't even last. Transformation in we mass. But you driving wrong in dark tinted glass. Transformation in we mass. When I start to talk you say in a fast. Transformation in we mass. Hey. Cause old talk is cheap. I still talking politics. Politics. I would never take me dead like a sheep. Was up in Grenada, Sanita came right up to me ears like he afraid to talk. He said the little work that he get in cultural foundation, they take it back. And how we wish he could have take back his vote. Cause that is one thing he regret. Because apart from all those gallant fete, yes he they do nothing yet. Transformation in we mass. If you love this song, well raise up your glass. Transformation in we mass. If you don't like this one, it's there you come last. Transformation in we mass.
Well, I know about John Doe, but I never heard about Olan. Maybe that's his brother. They say his name is Olan, and he is the PM right hand. Is he making all decisions as to how this country's governed? People want to know where he come out, so with a son named Doe. Him they never knew. Olan doesn't care about poor people. He do as he please. Maybe he's a PM too. Tell me who send home them e-monies? Olan Doe. And who take back the monies? Olan Doe. Who running all them vendors? Olan Doe. Poor people trying to make a dollars. Olan Doe. Every decision, every law that pass, Mr. Doe in charge. Olan is the boss, the boss, the boss. They say he's a very fair skin, very fair skin man. What I don't know him. Where he come out, sir? Jubilee celebration, 50 years a grand occasion. People all over the nation preparing to feel that sense of freedom. But right before the day, news come out and say no music can play, no session, no way. Olan made it clear to the whole nation. He wanted all eyes zooming on the stadium. Boy, you man who held the country hostage. Olan Doe. I think when we privilege. Olan Doe. Put us under lock and key. Olan Doe. Just like some independent zombies. Olan Doe. Every decision, every law that pass, Mr. Doe in charge. charge. Olan is the boss, the real boss. Well, where you get all this power from? Is he the people vote for to lead? Where you come out, sir? People asking how could one man hold so much different positions? They say his salary is about 30 grand a month. Olan is the chief in command. Even ministers who did win this seat with the powers he have could treat them like so they could vex the boss, but can't say a thing, cause they know this country is run by Olan and Deacon. Tell me, who decides on promotions? Olan know. And in which ministry they function? Olan know. They must have respect for Olan. Olan know. Or they not running next election? Olan know. Every decision, every law that passed, Mr. Doe in charge. Olan is the boss, the real boss. They say he's the new prime minister of Grenada, but I don't know the man. Where he come out, sir? Hey, bada bada bam, bada bada boy, bada 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 bada.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pidgey Martinico. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour.
Nothing worse than corruption
And this one is by Papa Jerry for the year 2024, yeah?
that's plaguing the
Wow, 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 wow.
from the top of the ladder straight down to the bottom. Everyone caught up in self-indulgence. They really don't care about righteousness. Everybody involving in selfishness, cause the whole agenda is to get more wealth. They really don't care man who's suffering. Once them and their family achieving, the slogan will be, how Grenada nice. So I want you to tell me, when will corruption end? Will there be a time when straight people wouldn't bend? No. And when you see corruption trying to raise the head, will you stamp your foot on it, my brother? Try to kill it dead. You apply for a work, you well qualify, but because of politics you get denied. Won't you tell me, isn't that corruption? A man found dead, police say drowning, but the autopsy reveal a strangling. Won't you tell me, isn't that corruption? Corruption, let's get rid of it. Corruption, the country will benefit.
Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah, let's get started, yeah?
Get rid of corruption.
Don't worry, we will play Papa Jerry a little later on again. I can't leave out the fireman, the original fireman, you know.
Won't you help me get rid of corruption?
Let me first of all say a special good night to those of you joining us via Facebook. Who am I seeing there? I see Dr. Julie Dubois. Good night to you. Nurse Wendy and Maguire, well, the doctor and the nurse right by each other. Nurse Wendy and Maguire, good night to you. Wallen Aquat, good night. And Rodney, good night to you, my dear. And Laslyn Douglas, Mavis Mitchell, Olive McEwen, Landa Ragbasing, Donna Langdon, Ingrid Bourne, Roland Boney, adorable Kathy Gilbert Levine, my loving cousin, good night to you. And let me see, Meryl George, good night to you, my dear. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful night. Evelyn Narayan, good night to you. And Ingrid Bourne, Diana Romney, Louisa Williams, Charmaine Ragbasing, Sherry Ann Collins, and I see Teresa Gill, I see you there. Cicely Celestine, my love, how are you doing? Dennis Fabio, and I see Kathleen Jones, Yvonne Courtney. Yvonne, why you leave me here and gone? Yvonne and Merrill, 2 overtime. Teresa, Buddy Frederick, good night to you. Phyllis Ramsey, Sherry Lambert, Dixie and Victor, the original soldier herself, yeah? Cynthia B., Esther Peters, Jill Williams, good night to you, my dear. Leslie and James, John Mark, Marilyn Ferguson, good night. Yolande Moraine, hey, Peter Stryker Lewis, good night to you, boss. Tegwa, good night. Jillian Prescott, let me see if anybody else joined since I started the list there. Rachel Mona Alexander, good night. Betty James, Enid Decoto, good night to each. Laslyn Douglas, Joan Henry, good night to all of you. And let's head over to the YouTube and see who's on with us. And I see Debbie Seals, Agnes Henry, Ashma Charles, Kathleen Ledlow, Deborah Laborde, Errol Bonaparte, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant. Good night to you, my dear. Baby Daddy, Phyllis Mitchell, Francis George. Good night, bro. Vanessa Lalji, I see you. Maud Martin, Fitzroy Philip, Joycelyn Francois. Good night. Jillian Noel, Teresa Joseph, and Janice Mitchell, I see you. Faithful in Hallie Douglas, Listra Abraham, Sandra Joseph, good night. Gavin Thomas, John Baptiste Dolores, Redhead, Mayana Julian, good night. Faithful in Hallie Douglas, a special good night to you. And a special good night to you, Matthew Bowen, as well. Sherma Alexander, Shirley and James, Jackie Raymond, Stephanie John, good night to you, and Home Circle, Tati, your husband, everybody. Jacinta Livingston, good night to you. Cindy Thomas, Carib Spice Fitness, Ann Lewis. Anna Lewis is somebody else. Anna Lewis, good night to you. Good Life, Patsy Frank, Natalia, will you get with your mother? They just know in the way. You'll take it again. Natalia, good night. Sherma Jeremiah, Roslyn Jones, Samuel John, good night. Wilfred Antoine, Jenny Samuel, Velma Pascal, Christine Alexander, Earl Benjamin, Joanna George, Clive Raymond, Sheldon Sylvester. Yeah, you have a good first name there, brother. Public Notice, Marlon Pancho, Ron Julian, good night. Osbert James, I see you. Dennis Sandy, Gemma Warwood, Rodney Barry, Connie Tompkin, good night to you. Christine Otley, Devin James, Brandon Joseph, Sky, Jocelyn Matheson, Bonnie Mitchell, Islon Musk, Eliza Bernard, Rick English, good night. Bernadette Joseph, good night. Michelle Alexander, Andrea Alexander, Kathleen Knights, I see you. Adrian Watts, good night to you, and the lovely Mrs. Watts. Jada Benjamin, Andrea Alexander, good night. Selwyn Noel. Yes, leave a Kim Jong jacket alone. Yolande Pariag, Patsy Frank, I see you there. Agatha Williams. Let me see who else is there. Jakeem Williams, I see you. And Sandra Pascal, good night to you and Xavier. And Deshaun. And Iva Holas, April Fletcher, Jacinta Alves, Junior George, Chris London, Alban Harris, Stephen Simon, Gillian Thomas, Lydia Isaac, Kiano Simon, Kiano Simon, good night. Oh, Kiki, good night to you there. And Jenny Alexander, Truth in Life TV, and Alistair Andrews. Hope all of you are having an absolutely wonderful night. Hope everything is going all well and okay for you all tonight. Just first of all, to remind you of some of the events that are coming up. Folks, remember, let me just pull it up here. You know, I like to show you when I'm talking and them kind of thing. Nice, right? So you have coming up the annual Tea and Hat Tea Party. So that is coming up. And let me pull it up here. Yeah, I need to pull up the thing, man. Yeah, show people when you're talking. Right. So you are invited to the annual Tea and Hat Tea Party. Prizes will be given for the best male and female dress, $25 for adults, $40 for children to enter. And you remember, you have prizes for the best dressed. And so that is happening the last day of, well, June the 30th, yeah, last day of this month. And they have an open bar. That's taking place at 535 East 19th Street between Newkirk. Yeah, Newkirk. You see that New Creek, yeah? So where you realize it's not near that New Creek. So Newkirk and Ditmas from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. All right. So that's 535 East 19th Street, Newkirk and Ditmas from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. So that activity is coming up. Also remember the 40th anniversary bingo taking place on the 14th of July, Sunday the 14th of July from 5 p.m. All right. And that is the fundraising event. $100,000 in cash and prizes inclusive of one Suzuki Ignis hybrid car. Playing, I want the car, boy, I need that car, right? $50,000 in cash and other prizes. Tickets going for $60 for one, $100 for two. Free buses available island-wide. Contact your constituency reps. They would give you so much information that you would know exactly where the buses are leaving from, who to contact, and so on. And in case you don't know the number to contact them, you can call 440-1875 between, let's say, roughly 8:30 in the morning and 4 p.m. That's the New National Party headquarters. You can call there, and one of the lovely ladies there will be able to assist you. This bingo will be taking place in Big Parish St. Andrew at the Victoria Park. So we're looking forward to that one. Remember, that's taking place on the 14th of July, Sunday, the 14th of July. Also, the New National Party New York Support Group, they invite you to attend an exquisite affair, an evening of elegant style and class taking place on Saturday, the 13th of July, and that is starting from 9 p.m. So they'll have music by DJ Jude and Small Clothes. Tickets only $100. And attire formal. It's an all-inclusive event, so you pay your money, you're going, and you're good to go. All right? So it's going to have dancing, music. What? Do you think go bad? Go and check it out, right? So that is taking place at the Legacy Loft, 9302 Ditmas Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11236. All right? For more information, contact Kathy Albert at 347-26689. You know the eyes does kind of give problem. Right. So for more information, let me show them people there. Nice. Right. You're making them big. So all you could get it there. Kathy Albert at 347-262-6818. Wendy Maguire at 917-602-1476. Aisha Oliver at 917-520-3164. PD Francis 917-642-7187, and Sharon Caesar at 862-234-0879. And of course, the political leader of the New National Party and the team of the New National Party will also be attending, so you have the opportunity to go out and interact with them. Yeah, don't go put on the dance hall, man. Yeah, you see the little dance and thing, you know, let's go. All right, and also let me just see if I can find this one quickly here. It's where is it disappeared to? It was on my desktop. Let me see if I can find that one quickly for you there. Nah, not that song. I got to play this song. I got to play it while I'm looking for it.
Corruption, let's get rid of it. Corruption, the country will benefit. Won't you help me get rid of corruption?
So, folks, yes, the New York chapter of the New National Party cordially invites you to the New York City Town Hall meeting of the New National Party, and that's taking place at the American Legion Hall, 1130 East 92nd Street in Brooklyn, New York, 11236. Sunday, July the 14th, the same day as the bingo in Grenada. So NNP having activities all over, right? So you're having the bingo in Grenada and you're having the town hall meeting in New York. And that starts at 5 p.m. In attendance will be the political leader of the New National Party, former Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, and accompanying him will be the Honorable Emlyn Pear, Member of Parliament for St. Andrew South East, Honorable Peter David, Member of Parliament for the town of St. George, Senator the Honorable Norland Cox, yes indeed, my good brother out of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and the people in the South go vex with me because I had to say, and the South, and Mr. Dwight Hosford. So the New National Party team will be there. Remember, it's taking place on the 14th of July at the American Legion Hall, 1130 East 92nd Street in Brooklyn, New York, 11236. Join us to discuss vital national issues with our political leader and other members of Team NNP. Have your voice heard, ask questions, share your concerns, and offer opinions. Your presence matters. We hope to see you there. I say we, but I just reading the thing. It's not we. Some people are saying already, if I'm coming up, no, I have other things to do.
If the police them getting promotion because of party affiliation, won't you tell me, isn't that corruption? So, corruption, let's get rid of it. Corruption, the country will benefit. Won't you help me get rid of corruption? Corruption, let's not sell we soul. Corruption, let the truth be told. Won't you you help.
And let me say a special good night to you all, the listeners out there in the Grenadian diaspora. Let me say a special good night to you out there, Mr. Gats, out there in the UK. Yes, Loris, make sure and tell me. Loris tell me today, she said, make sure and call out Gats. She said, make sure you call out Gats in England. She said, Gats does listen every single night. Yes, Miss Loris, tell me, make sure and shout you out. I'm making sure and shout you out tonight. Indeed, before we get into the heavy stuff, because we have some stuff to get into there. The IMF report, the IMF has issued. Usually when the IMF has a meeting in a country, they issue the end of meeting concluding statement. So that's like a preliminary statement on what their findings have been. And then while after, they issue the full statement with details in relation to various aspects of the Grenadian economy. So we'll be getting into that in a short while. Let me also say good night to my good friends out there in Buffalo. Yeah, and they want to send sympathies to Joanna Matheson on the passing of her dad. Yes, Joanna Matheson, we know that you're listening, and sympathy coming out to you there from your good friends out there in Buffalo. Myrna, you and your crew, we say a special good night to you, my dear. No, I seen it early tonight. I don't want to get in trouble with you, so I'm making sure that I say good night to you early, Myrna. Right, yeah, let me make sure and pull up everything here. I don't want nobody vex with me. Pastor Lewis, good night to you as well, sir. I hope that you're having a fabulous, fabulous night tonight. Yeah. So let me just make sure I have everything here. That. Right, yeah. I want to make sure that I shout out to what to shout out before I get into this thing. Now, folks, the IMF have completed their meetings in Grenada. Of course, the new National Party did meet with the IMF team, where they put forward their concerns in relation to various aspects of what has been happening in Grenada. Night before, I believe it is, we read the IMF report to you, the new National Party report on that meeting with the IMF to you. And just to give you an insight here into what the IMF report has said. And I can't split screen as I usually do. I had to get that set back up. As I said, the program crashed the other night and we still haven't gotten everything back up as we normally do. So just to let you know. So this is the concluding statement of the IMF. Let me just increase the size a bit for you. So those of you at the back of the class can see properly. We want to make sure all children are properly educated. All right. So Grenada staff concluding statement of the 2024 Article 4. Yes, Article 4 mission. A concluding statement describes the preliminary findings of the IMF at the end of an official staff visit. All right. That's just a little insight into what this is. So the IMF says Grenada's economy is experiencing sustained strong growth supported by buoyant tourism. A surge in citizenship by investment, CBI revenue, has resulted in a large budget surplus. Yeah, I think I was hearing them speaking of somewhere around 9% or so. That's what I think I heard the Minister of Finance saying at one of the forums. So a surge in citizenship by investment, CBI revenue, has resulted in a large budget surplus, an increase in government deposits, and lower public debt. The key fiscal policy priorities are to improve the management of these potentially volatile CBI revenues, contain the growth of recurrent expenditures, and strengthen public financial management. Rising risk in the non-banking financial system call for better data collection, greater supervisory oversight, and regional supervisory cooperation, reducing Grenada's dependency on imported fossil fuels, boosting competitiveness, and investment in climate resilience are essential to increase long-term growth. So let's break this down. When they're saying here, yeah, yes, sir, I won't forget to shout out Ben in Rukain. Ben, good night. When it comes to Grenada's economy, now they are saying here that the growth in Grenada's economy, and I'll put it back up in a while for you. They're saying here that the growth in Grenada's economy is mainly due to CBI and tourism. You have increase in the number of tourists that are coming to Grenada, and you have an increase in the amount of money that's being made under CBI. Now, I haven't heard them yet I didn't get a chance to listen to the news tonight or so, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to jump on this and say the IMF has given them a wonderful review. This is not a wonderful review. This says that the Grenadian economy is in danger. Because if the growth of your economy, it's not fueled by agriculture, it's not fueled by fisheries, those are not mentioned there. What is mentioned are two areas that are fickle. One area that is in danger. So you're speaking here to sustained strong growth supported by buoyant tourism. Of course, you're going to see growth when you measure it against the last 5 years in the tourism area in Grenada. 2020, you had no tourism. Tourism didn't exist in that year. We didn't have that. The one or two ships that came early up in the year, January, February, and you know there's just one or two ships that come around that time. And then by March, you started to go into lockdown protocols. Ships stopped going anyway. Even if you was open, ships stopped coming, all kind of thing. So you didn't have that for the year 2020. So your tourism was basically at zero. So even if one tourist come into your country the next year, it has increased. Yeah? So since then, we've seen more and more the cruise ships have started coming out again. People have started traveling again. People are doing stayovers and so again. And then, under the new National Party, through the Citizenship by Investment program, there was a heavy emphasis on increasing Grenada's hotel stock. And Dr. Clarice Modest, give me a call a little later on if you get a chance, Dr. Somebody tell Dr. Modest I say give me a little buzz a little later on. Yeah. So when it comes to tourism, there was a heavy emphasis on increasing your room stock. Grenada, in the view of many people in the tourism industry, still does not have a proper amount of rooms available for visitors to the island. So they need to increase the room stock, which is why you have had the Silver Sands come on stream, which is why you have the Beach House come on stream, which is why you have the Six Senses come on stream, which is why you have the project up in La Vera that's taking place right now, and that will come on stream in the future. So those areas have increased your room stock. Therefore, more people can come to Grenada. So one, you're coming from a place of zero in 2020, 2021, and you barely started in 2022. So you're coming from zero. So you will see increases because people start to travel again. If your bank account have $0 and 0 cents in it, and then you go and you put a $5 in it, it have an increase, isn't it? It have a significant increase in your bank account. So we are seeing increases. So they said Grenada's economies experience sustained growth supported by buoyant tourism. So that is the reason that you're seeing the increase in tourism. This government has done nothing. Nothing. I would like this administration to point to anything that they have done that has increased the amount of visitors to the Isle of Spice. Or Pure Grenada, whichever one you want to use. Or Pure Grenada, the Isle of Spice. Let's see it as that. I would like them to show us one thing that they have done that has improved the tourism industry. You have the air bridge that's being done at the Maurice Bishop International Airport, a leftover project from during the period of the new National Party. You have the extension, the work that is taking place on the tarmac, etc. at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. In fact, last I saw, all the equipment was on the port going back. I think it's already left. So the asphalt plant that was used for that Grenada should have negotiated to try and fix some road, gone. Yeah? So they have done nothing to increase visitors, increase arrivals, increase the number of people coming into Grenada. This administration has done nothing. Airlines, recognizing that more people want to come Grenada because there are more facilities. People want to come and see the new Six Sense. There are Six Senses in Grenada. They want to experience that. The Beach House, the Silver Sands, they want to experience that. So they're looking for flights into Grenada. And the airlines, recognizing that, have decided to add flights. Or some of them have decided that they would place a flight because they didn't have flights coming in, that they would place a flight into Grenada. All of this has nothing to do with the present Minister of Tourism, the Ministry of Tourism, the Board of Tourism, any of them. This has to do with the fact that more things are available in Grenada, more rooms are now available, and more will be available in the future. This administration has not initiated a single project under the CBI. None. Zero. They didn't even tell a man buy a wheelbarrow. Nothing under the Citizenship by Investment program. Every single project is a project that was brought in, that was verified, that was negotiated under the new national party. So if you're talking about buoyant tourism and a surge in citizenship by investment, then you have to give first dibs to the new national party for doing an excellent job. And people like Dr. Clarice Modest for the excellent job she did as a Minister of Tourism, that we will soon be seeing the fruits of at the Maurice Bishop International Airport when the things like the air bridge and so are completed. I hope at least they don't have decency. We know they don't have decency, but at least I would hope that they have the common decency to at least invite her when they go in and cut the ribbon now. You know, they bad mind like that. They would go and cut the ribbon down there and they wouldn't even call her and tell her come. But that is how it is. We know that is how it is. We accept it. We do things because it is necessary for the country and the improvement of the country and the people of Grenada. That is why Dr. Modest has done that. That is why the new National Party has done that. Not for anybody to come and pat them on the back. They know that is what has to be done. But we know these people bad mind. They wouldn't even call and say, well, look, we're doing that. Come and, come down when we cut in the ribbon. We ain't letting you cut the ribbon, you know. We have a minister, so you go cut the ribbon, but you could stand up there when the ribbon cut. They bad mind like that. But anyhow, so when it comes to the surge in citizenship by investment, those of you who have been paying attention to this program would very well understand that this is due to the, what they call it, the Russian pipeline. Remember, no other country was accepting people from Russia and Belarus. No other country was accepting people from those two countries into their CBI program because of the sanctions that have been placed on Russia. Grenada opened the door and were allowing these people from these territories to come and register in Grenada's CBI program. And that is the reason that you have, because they account for over 80%, way over 80%, closer to 90%, of the people that have become Grenadian citizens through CBI in the last year and a half. Yeah, those figures have been given by the CBI unit itself. So it's over 80% of the people are Russians. So it was a pipeline. You have these Russian billionaires, oligarchs, etc. They want to get their family out of Russia. They want their family to be able to travel freely. So they get them a Grenadian passport. They become part of the Grenadian CBI program. So while other countries, while the other 4 territories with CBI within the OECS were not accepting people from Russia, Grenada was. So any Russian looking to get away, they were heading to Grenada. And I think it's over 2,000 or so may have already been registered. And there's quite a significant number waiting again, because CBI revenue for the year 2024, the amount of money that they intend to make out of CBI for this year, is still based on Russians who have been registered into the program but not yet processed. This, while Grenada has signed an agreement since March of last year with the U.S. Treasury Department to stop processing Russian applicants. I can prove that they have, I could give names of Russians that they have. Yeah? I can give the name of Russian, names, not a name, but names of Russians that they have placed into the Grenadian CBI program, and they have been successful in the program. I could give the name of their international and the local agent. Yeah? So that is what has been happening, which is why the IMF now comes and they say, yeah, that Grenada's economy is experiencing sustained growth supported by buoyant tourism. And you just understand why we are having that buoyant tourism, because they go in and beat the chest and say, look, it's because I NDC. It's not because I NDC. It has nothing to do with all you. Say thanks NNP. The projects that there, the extra hotel rooms is because of NNP. Yeah? The work taking place on the airport and so to make it more easy for people to go and come. Yeah, that is because of NNP. Nothing to do with all you. Right? A surge in citizenship, a surge, because all the people out of Russia rush into Grenada. And right now, what this government is doing is that they are focusing on going into Africa. So they are trying to get now the billionaires and millionaires out of Nigeria and Ghana and other parts of Africa, with a heavy focus on Ghana and Nigeria. They are trying now to get those people to obtain Grenadian citizenship in the CBI program because they realize the Russian pipeline drying up. So they're trying to open another pipeline now on the African homeland. Yeah? So that's why you hear they're talking about Ghana and Ghana and Ghana and Ghana. They're trying to get these people into the CBI program here. And I'm pretty sure if you ask for figures in relation to the numbers of people from those countries, in specific Nigeria and Ghana, over the last year and going for the next 6 months or so, let's put it for the next year, how many of them have got into the program, you'd realize that the number is increasing. Yeah? So they've also said here, they mentioned, and I hope that you all paid attention to this part, they mentioned that potentially volatile CBI revenues, and we're going to come to that a little later on. In other words, it is dangerous to base your economy on CBI because CBI is fickle. The European Union are now making moves to get rid of CBI. Not just to reduce it, no. They're making moves at this point in time to get rid of CBI. Because a person who has a Grenadian passport can travel through the European Union without the need for a visa. As long as they're staying under, in some instances, in certain countries, it's under 30 days, some it's under 90 days, some it's under 6 months. It varies from country to country. But you can enter these countries without the need for a visa once you're carrying a Grenadian passport. Yeah, some other countries don't have that. But Grenada has access through what they call the Schengen visa. So once you've landed in one European Union country, you can go to the others without the need for having to apply for a visa. Yeah? So they've also mentioned, and let me see if I can pull it here. Yeah, so they've also mentioned reducing Grenada's dependency on imported fossil fuels. Now this is the reason, and remember I showed you all the geothermal study that was done. And I took you all from that geothermal study in 2015 up to when the NNP administration was taken to court by WRB because of the nonsense that was contained in the NDC agreement with WRB from back in 1994. And I hear a man named Tillman Thomas was involved in that deeply too. Get nice ride and plane on thing. Yeah. Those individuals, and that stymied, that stopped Grenada from being able to move forward and explore further geothermal energy until the issue had been resolved. And by the time that issue was resolved, you're into COVID, you're into election, you're out of office. So at least the laws to take us out of having to be dependent on fossil fuels were put in place already when the Grenlec Act was changed. When that act came to Parliament and it was reviewed and changed and so on, and you had a new law put in place, that freed up a lot of stuff in Grenada. Now you have things like through the GDB, under the new National Party, businesses were offered loans, yeah, and I think in one instance grants to be able to install solar panels and so that they can cut on their electricity bill, but also that they could feed back electricity into the national grid, which would reduce the necessity to use fossil fuels. So I hope you all are understanding where we're coming from, because I know it's not the sexiest of topics tonight, but it's important to know, because when these people come, they go in and come and try and tell you it's them do all of this, you know. They go in and tell you it's them that do all of this. Yeah? And let me just pull another part here. Strong tourism has bolstered growth. So they're talking about tourism here. Grenada's economy is estimated to have expanded by 4.4% in 2023, supported by among the fastest growth in stayover arrivals in the Caribbean and a continued uptick in spending per tourist. Of course, that's going to happen. You have Silver Sands now. You have Beach House now. And now you're going to see an increase in that further because now you have 6 cents. And remember, Intercontinental is also on the way. And then you have the Lavera project on the way. So you're going to see a further increase in more stayover visitors because it have more place for more people to stay. So you will see an increase in relation to that. Yeah? It says here, construction activity moderated as major capital projects were brought to completion. In other words, you had these big projects that were taking place. 6 cents alone at one point in time had nearly 1,000 people working down there. That's completed. So those people are no longer employed in that facility. Some may be employed other places, some may be unemployed. Yeah? So that's no longer the issue. So you have construction itself has contracted because a lot of the bigger projects have been completed. All right? And new projects, and they can't say that this has anything to do with the new National Party, of course. This part here, and new projects linked to the recent surge in CBI was slow to execute. In other words, you had a bunch of people putting money into CBI. You say you make $1 billion in 1 year, which means that you have proper financing for all of the projects and so that under CBI that the new National Party had initiated, you had proper funding through investors. And the investors are the people who get the passport. They come in, they go to the developer, they want to become part of that project, and they become part of that project through CBI. And you say you get $1 billion. So there's proper funding for those projects. But for some reason, they have been slow to execute because this government like to talk about implementation. But these CBI projects, according to the International Monetary Fund, are slow to execute. Yeah? They say inflation declined 2.2% at the end of 2023 as food and fuel price pressures eased. Well, let me tell you something. IMF, they lie for all you. All you need to go in a Grenadian supermarket and talk to the shoppers. Don't just talk to the government. The government lie. Inflation ain't no decline. Let me ask you all. Are you all seeing a situation where the price of food in the supermarkets has gone down? Or you seeing the price of really and truly, they're saying inflation declined to 2.2% at the end of 2023 as food and fuel price pressures eased. So let me ask you all, when you go to the supermarket now, is it cheaper or more expensive than last year? And even if you're speaking 2023, was it cheaper at the end of 2023 as opposed to the year 2022? Or the glasses man right now had to wear, right now he can't even wear contact lens. Because the glasses man ain't glasses in at all. Right now he take off the glasses, he can't see. Yeah, when you walk in with 100 right now, it's like he crying. You see him with a napkin, wiping his eye, he had to cry. Yeah, because when you go to the supermarket, what you are seeing is not a decrease in inflation. Yeah, what you are seeing is an increase. Now, what the government did, and I can tell you that from as a fact, what this government did is that when they were speaking to the IMF, they mentioned that they reduced the price, they take off the VAT on condoms, they take off the VAT on diapers and sanitary pads and so on and some of these things. They mentioned that and gave the impression that that has brought the price of goods down. That's just a few items. The basket of goods that the average Grenadian has to buy on a monthly or bi-weekly or weekly basis has increased and continues to increase nearly by the week. So to come to us, the Grenadian people, and tell us that inflation has declined by 2.2%, we're not feeling it, we're not seeing it. Maybe the business people are the ones that are making the money and not passing it on to us. Maybe the prices have dropped for the businesses, the supermarkets and the big businesses. Maybe the price dropped for them and they haven't passed it on to us. In fact, maybe the price dropped by 50 cents and they add on 75 because we are not seeing it. So this is based on false information that has been fed to the IMF for them to make a statement like that. We know that the cap on gas has been removed. And what is happening is that means instead of you paying at the most $15, and if it's under that, you pay under that, now you are paying $16, $17, and you could pay as much as $18 per gallon of gas. It has not gone down. So that in itself says that some false and accusing the government here straight up, take me to court for it. False information was given to the IMF in relation to inflation, or at least misleading information was given to the International Monetary Fund in relation to the cost of living here in Grenada. We don't see no decrease in no cost of living. Thing going up. Whether it's your utility bill, your water rate gone up. Which remind me, I have to go and check mine tomorrow. Even though the Nawasa, we still want to know in the south why we are under water restriction. We've had no water since Monday. And we want to know why. Yeah? So please, let us know why we have no water in the south of the island right now. At least down in the Frequente area, Cali say we don't have water. We want to know why. Yeah? Because we see all they were showing dam overflowing, then all they say it's silted. Or you clean it, we assume that it's back to normal level now. Why don't we have water? At least tell us, right? So, that aside, we have seen an increase in the water rate because they have now placed a tax on it. They've placed environmental levy on the water. So you're paying more for water. You can't tell me the price of water gone down. It has gone up. Yeah? The electricity bill, where under the new National Party, they had taken various measures which significantly reduced the cost of electricity for each and every Grenadian, especially the poorer class of Grenadians. It reduced the cost because government amended the non-fuel charge. They removed the taxes when it came to the non-fuel charges and so that it reduced the cost of electricity. This government put it back. So you can't tell me that inflation going down. Inflation could never be going down with these kind of things taking place. Yeah, so I ain't blaming the IMF, you know. According to what the Prime Minister had said when he was in opposition, the IMF dealing with what the government in charge give them. And this is a classic example. Grenadians, we're going to open the phone lines in a while when we finish with this. But you all have to tell us if the cost of living is going down for you. If you're not seeing that things increasing when you go to the supermarket, the village shop, because the village shop have to sell off of the supply vans. The supply vans, their prices going up. So the prices in the village shop going up as well. You try and buy a tin of corn if you go find out. Right? Let's go back here again now. It says strong CBI revenues resulted in a large 2023 fiscal surplus of 8% of GDP. I know they had said somewhere around the 9% or so. So it's 8% of GDP. And again, that is because of the Russian pipeline. All the people from Russia, nobody else was taking them. Grenada alone was taking them. So you ended up in a situation where Grenada was able to benefit. But you benefit at what cost? Because there is something on the other end of that. United States watching you. All right? Okay. So these are just bits and pieces of what it says here. Growth is, and let me just show you as I'm talking here. Growth is projected to decelerate in the coming years as capacity constraints wait on tourism growth and investment. In other words, you're going to reach capacity. It's only so much rooms that you have under CBI and even in private thing being built right now. So you are going to reach a certain percentage of rooms that you have, and you're not going to pass that for a while. So whatever growth you're seeing now, people start to travel and so on, and yes, COVID done, you start to travel, cruise ships start to come and different things like that. But it's going to decelerate. In other words, it is going to be reduced. That is from the IMF. They are projecting not just based on what Grenada has told them. They're saying that based on what they know are the international trends taking place. Yeah? So there are only so much hotels you can build. There are only so much rooms that you can add. So there are only so much stay-over visitors you'll be able to have. So it will not continue to increase. Yes, you will see an increase when the facility in St. Patrick and the other facility in St. David is finished. So you know from now you're going to see an increase based on what the new National Party brought in. You're going to see an increase, but that increase will not remain forever. It's going to plateau out. It's going to flatten out, right? The economy is projected to grow to 3.9% in 2024, bolstered by another strong year of tourism activity, again thanks to the NNP, as hotels are already close to their high season capacity limits. So they're talking about the amount of people that are able to stay in hotels who come from around the world. Growth is projected to gradually slow to 2.7% over the medium term. The outlook is sensitive though to the level of CBI inflows. In other words, if you do not have more people coming to build more facilities here, you will not have a significant increase. So CBI inflows, the degree to which flows finance new growth enhancing investment. In other words, during the time of the new National Party, the NNP was able to get people to come in and develop. Right? So you have people that come in, they develop, they say, okay, we want to do a hotel here, we want to buy this hotel and redo it, and we want to expand, different things like that. This government has not done that. They're just focusing on what the new National Party has brought in. They have been incapable. We know they're incompetent, but there'll also be another incapable. So the in government, incompetent and incapable of getting new financing for new projects. So CBI inflows, the degree to which these flows finance new growth enhancement investments, right? And the progress in completing the current pipeline of hotel projects included non-CBI finance ones, including hotels and so, not financed through CBI. So there's a problem there right now. Folks, let's go down a little bit now. The clearing of the large backlog of CBI applications from the recent surge is projected to result in a large 2024 budget surplus of 9.5%. So I know I did hear 9.59 somewhere wrong. So 9.5 for 2024 is the projection of GDP and further accumulation of government deposits. In other words, government is supposed to make some additional money through the CBI, right? Yeah, and folks, you can't be sending them questions to me, they know, man. Come on. Yeah, so the clearing of the large backlog of CBI applications from the recent surge is projected to result in a large 2024 budget surplus of 9.5% of GDP and further accumulation of government deposits. The CBI revenues are therefore expected to normalize to pre-surge levels. In other words, when they finish with all of the Russians that they have, let me just think it here for you. It's not me saying it, It's the IMF that is saying this. Yeah? The CBI revenues are thereafter expected to normalize to pre-surge levels. Nonetheless, sustained lower primary surpluses anchored in the government's fiscal rules framework are projected to support a gradual reduction of public debt to the 60% of GDP target by the end of the decade. Yeah? So it says here the CBI revenues are expected to normalize. They're expected to go down from what they are right now when they finish processing all the Russian applications they have inside. And we have on tape the man in charge of CBI for Grenada saying so. Yeah? So it is not going to be a continued largesse of money. Not largesse. Yeah? Of money. And this is something that we have to take particular note of here. This whole part here. The recent heightened international scrutiny over CBI programs represents a risk to this important source of income. I ain't see they talking about agriculture there. I ain't see they talking about, Grenada has increased agricultural output and they're shipping more spice or they're shipping more nutmeg, more cocoa. They're shipping, I haven't seen that. It's based on CBI. And it's saying here CBI is at a heightened risk. Right? The recent heightened international scrutiny over CBI programs represents a risk to this important source of income. The United States government trying to get rid of CBI. The UK government trying to get rid of CBI. The European Union trying to get rid of CBI. So all of these countries have a problem with the CBI programs, not just in Grenada, but wherever they are in the world, not just the Caribbean, wherever they are in the world. Other important downside risks include a slowdown in key tourism source markets. According to the outcome of the US elections, it will affect how the economy goes. If it goes north, if it goes south, if it goes sideways, it will be affected by what happens in November when the US election takes place this year. That will also affect how many tourists we are getting coming from that source market. If people don't have money to spend, they won't travel. The same obtains for what takes place in the UK at the end of their elections. According to how the economy responds to those elections, that source market will also be a troublesome issue for Grenada and other Caribbean territories, because if the people have no money because the economy is bad, they will not travel. and the same in France and all the other European countries, right? So the high level of government deposits and a falling debt to GDP ratio provide an important buffer against unanticipated shocks. And remember, you still have the dangers. We are in the Caribbean. It's been a very hot month thus far, even though we're in the rainy season. And as such, you don't know when it comes to hurricanes and so what can happen. Yeah? So folks, I hope that you all are understanding a bit of what I'm getting into here. Because I know that they come in. They come in to try and bamboozle. The problem is, a lot of the times they send people to just call our program and, Shaggy, well, we get a good IMF report, you know. You don't see good thing the IMF say about Grenada. They say a lot of good thing. And this government working. This government work. That's the kind of people that they send to go and talk on Shaggy and so on. If Shaggy were to step out of character and ask them one question and say, hey, okay, what are the good things the IMF report say? They start to stammer one time. Well. They start to stammer. You know, like old time when you have them record and it stick? Yeah, they start to stick like a record. Yes. That's the kind of people that are sent to go and talk on these things. So you have strengthening public finances, and they spoke about the potential swings in CBI revenue warrant continued careful management of public finances. Yeah? And within that, there is something here that kind of raised eyebrows among some of the folks that I spoke to today with this one. Yeah? They spoke of putting in place measures to improve tax administration and raise tax revenues. In other words, increase taxes. Increase the amount of money that you're making off of taxes. And as I've said on this program before, there are two ways to do that generally. In layman's terms, there are two general ways you do that. You broaden the tax base, you make more people pay, or you increase the amount that has to be paid by those who are already paying. So if you have 10 people paying and each person paying $10, you say, no, instead of paying $10, you're all going to pay $100. So you increase the amount of money you make that way. Or you say 10 people paying $10, you make 100 people pay $10, and you increase your revenue that way. What the IMF is saying here, and I didn't pull it up for you all to see. Through adjusting the gasoline tax in context of instituting a symmetric pass-through formula for gasoline prices. So they are saying here that government should find ways and means of increasing the income that they're making through gasoline. We have to use gas, we have to travel, you have to drive, you have to different things like that. But even more interesting is this particular statement here. Development of a social protection policy establishing of a central beneficiary registry. In other words, when you're dealing with social programs, you have everything in one central location, all the information, and all of the people who are in different social programs collated into one registry so that it's easy to identify. You could say, okay, we have all the seed beneficiaries here, all the people who are under program A or program B, everybody's in one registry, and you can easily dip in there and find out if there's any cross-cutting and so on. And the planned introduction of cashless payments would improve targeting and oversight. Yeah, cashless payments. Because we hear the Prime Minister talk about people going and stand up in the hot sun, but they're still going and stand up in the hot sun outside the fire station, police station up there in St. Andrew, in St. David, sorry. Nice. And still going outside the stadium, standing up in the sun, and possibly at this time of year, even the rain. So it is still taking place, even though you say that is something that they wouldn't allow to happen. But the most dangerous part of this, is not talking about the cashless payments, improved targeting, and so on. You see this last part here? The IMF is asking this government to phase out the subsidies on cooking gas. In other words, let the price of the 25-pound cylinder increase. The $40 cylinder, what is 25 pound or what? That cylinder, yes. Instead of paying $40, they are asking this government to remove what they have placed there. And there's a mathematical equation behind that we'll get into. But they're asking this government to remove that subsidy So instead of you paying $40 for the cooking gas, you might end up having to pay 50 or 60 or 70 or whatever. So they are asking, create scope to phase out subsidies on cooking gas. This was put in place many years ago. Yeah? Maintained by the new National Party. And has provided benefit to the vast majority of Grenadians, because if a cooking gas was more than $40, a lot of people just couldn't afford it. You have a $50 by the time you pay the bus to go and come. Yeah? And you had the $40, you buy the gas. Now if you phase that out, it's going to be a problem for a lot of people. Right? Continued focus and commitment to the CBI program integrity and full implementation of Grenada's related regional commitments will be important to mitigate potential risks to its revenue. In other words, Grenada needs to start working with the other Caribbean territories in relation to the CBI program. And you realize they keep coming back to the CBI because the CBI is the main thing that they have been working with to raise funds. That's what this government jumping up in money to get each minister going home with a $15,000, $20,000, that kind of thing. It's through CBI money that has been coming in. But when that well runs dry, my brother and sister, they better have a desalination plant ready, because they're going to need some other source of water, or they're going to get dehydrated. Yeah? When that CBI well runs dry, they're going to see how they maintain. Yes, you might have a buffer that might hold you for 6 months, 12 months, even as long as 18 months. But when that 18 months is over, what have you put in place that you could fall back on that will raise revenue to be able to maintain type of salaries that they're giving their friends and families? $10,000 here, $15,000 there. Listen, the local member of the family who they just give something for giving something, say, gain $5,000. And that's a fact. Yeah? So we also see they're saying here, a more coherent and transparent. Let me pull that over so you can see, because I want you all to see when I'm speaking on things. A more coherent and transparent framework for managing CBI revenues would strengthen budget and investment planning. Clearer recording of CBI flows. In other words, this government is not doing a good job of being transparent when it comes to the CBI program. There is no proper recording. They're saying here, clearer recording of CBI inflows. Let me just click it here. Clearer recording of CBI flows in the budget and transferring all CBI revenues into the National Transformation Fund would bring the government CBI resources under a unified framework. Right now, this government is not doing that. They're not transparent in what is taking place. They keep talking about we transparent. Yeah, they're transparent because people could see through all you. But you're not transparent in your dealings with the Grenadian people. Yeah? So there are several other areas. Let me just speed down a bit, because I want to take your calls. I want to hear from you all, especially if you all are feeling the reduced inflation that they're speaking about, because I heard that nonsense the other night from David Andrew, Senator David Andrew, at the Grenville meeting, and some people, they clapping. They know when they go in the but all your bad mind bad, you know. They know when they go in the supermarket, they're paying more. They know when they go in the supermarket, it costing them more. They know when they get their water bill, when they get their light bill, they know these things costing them more. When they get the telecoms bill, they know it is costing more. And they hear the man stand up, they line for them and telling them that these things have gone down. The cost of living has gone down. And they clapping. All your bad mind bad, you know. It's between two things. All your bad mind, all your mentally challenged. And I want to believe it's bad mind, all your bad mind. All right? Nice. So let's go back to this one. Right? They speak about well-coordinated implementation of ongoing public sector reforms will improve administrative efficiency and fiscal outlook. Believe me, when they say that, they can't go to the IMF and say that they're making everybody permanent. Huh? I can guarantee you that they can't go and say that to them. They go afraid. They can't go and tell the IMF that. Right? I'm not ready for your calls yet. I'll take your calls just now, folks. Let me finish. We're coming down to the end there right now. Right? So they talk here also about staff retraining and different things like that. They say here, they speak of the planned establishment of a new defined contribution public sector pension scheme for new and regularized hires is important to avoid adding to the fiscal liability from the existing benefit plan. In other words, just what Mr. Grimes was saying, just what I was saying, just what Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the New National Party was saying before election is what the IMF is telling them now, because they now start to say it. That if you were to regularize everybody or place all workers, including the 3,000 illegal contract workers, under the existing pension scheme, what would happen is that you would run into fiscal problems. You will not be able to maintain it in the future. Yeah? So that's what they're speaking to when they speak about this particular area here. The planned establishment of a new defined contribution public sector pension, because the existing one is not contributory. They don't take anything out of your salary towards it. Right? Although you do pay for it indirectly through your taxes anyway. But they don't take a direct payment out of your salaries to go towards that payment. All right? And the final area, let me just speed through because I realize people are calling, they want to get through. Yeah? This area here, credit union lending practices and asset quality warrant close monitoring. Yeah? You have to be very careful when it comes to the credit union. A lot of Grenadians have their money in the credit union, and they have to be very careful with how the credit unions are monitored and so on, how the lending is taking place, so that they don't end up in a situation where the credit union fails and people lose their money. They're just warning, be careful. Work with the credit unions, keep an eye on the credit unions, that sort of thing. Not that anything is going wrong with them. Credit unions have been doing excellent jobs at management and so on. But they're saying, keep an eye on it. You don't want to take your eye off it and then something happens. And there is continued efforts also needed to improve access to credit. I think they need to speak to I think the IMF needed to find out. I'm sure the opposition raised that issue with them. But the issue of government ministers walking into the GDB. Government ministers can walk into the Grenada Development Bank and walk out with millions of dollars. Government ministers can owe the taxpayers of Grenada millions of dollars. And the government makes no effort to stop what is an illegal act from taking place. None. No effort. So ministers could go in GDB, get millions, when it is stated in the law that controls the GDB that this is illegal. Yet still, the average Grenadian who might have a good business idea, maybe trained in a specific field, have some of the equipment and wants to get a little something more, they can't go to the average financial institution because they may not have the financial backing, as in they may not have land. They may not have a set of money somewhere that they can use as collateral. That's what you have the Grenada Development Bank for. Yeah? The credit unions play a role in helping when they can, but even them, they have to be careful because they have to protect their members. Right? So continued efforts are also needed to improve access to credit. They ain't talking about NDC government ministers. They them getting credit easy. Yeah, millions. Right? And there was one other area I want to bring again before, where is it? There's one other area I wanted to jump to before I complete on this one for now. I won't go into every single area here. But it was one in relation to, yes, here it is. And that is in relation to this particular issue. Policies to boost labor market efficiency and maximize tourism revenue would help lift long-term growth. But this specific area, investments in youth training and development, digital tools to match employers with employees should be scaled up, particularly given the recent introduction of unemployment insurance. Yeah? So they're saying to them, create more opportunities for the youth. This government, since coming into office, has done not a single youth program. They have created not a single opportunity for youth. They say they create the creative affairs office. The creative affairs office does not have an office. The people who are being paid the high salaries are sitting at home and working. So the creative affairs office, that's the name of it, does not even have an office. So the IMF is telling them, hey, when it comes to the young people, a significant portion, investments in youth training. You had Ron Redhead as the Minister of Youth, do nothing for young people in Grenada. Nothing. I could tell you what he's doing, but not on air, when we see face to face. Yeah. but nothing for the young people. No training opportunities. In fact, you had a reduction in the number of people under the Imani program. You had no introduction of any parallel or superior training program for the young people of Grenada, none. And the IMF is telling them now, hey, all you had to do something for the young people. All you can't leave that so. Right? So folks, right now, my good friend Hannah, my friends, yeah, I'm opening the phone lines now. I think I talk enough there, man. Right now, the truth starting to hot all kind of thing there. I ain't going deeper into it. I'm going to leave it at D. Right? Yeah. I ain't going deeper into that again, man. Yeah. There's one thing I wanted to play though. There's two things I wanted to play. Yeah, let me just play this one first. Let me see if I can open it here and play this, and then I'm going to take your phone calls quick. I see the phone line ringing. Don't worry, I'll answer your calls just now. But I just want to play this one quick because I want to remember what the Prime Minister did say about these kind of things. Yeah, let me hear.
The IMF doesn't run a country. The World Bank doesn't run a country. They've never done so, right? And at the end of the day, saying that you have a good report from the IMF doesn't mean anything if...
Remember what he said when they start to jump on radio and they start to go all over and talk about, Yeah. Let me hear.
Saying that you have a good report from the IMF doesn't mean anything if we have significant unemployment, if we have persons who are hungry within our country, if we have children who are not going to school because they do not have access to internet, they do not have access to tablets. And those are the issues we need to talk about, not...
Yeah, okay. Those are the issues we need to talk about. You go hear them jumping up on the IMF report. Oh, we got a good report from the IMF. But hear him once again.
The World Bank doesn't run a country. They've never done so, right? And at the end of the day, saying that you have a good report from the IMF doesn't mean anything if we have significant unemployment, if we have persons who are hungry within our country, if we have children who are not going to school because they do not have access to internet, they do not have access to tablets. And those are the issues we need to talk about, not a report from the IMF, frankly.
Right. So those are the issues we need to talk about, not a report from the... So we don't expect to hear anything from any of your administration in relation to the IMF. I come into the phone line, don't worry, I come in. I see it ringing. I seen all of them ringing. I come into it, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I just want to play one more thing. All right? Yeah, I just want to play one more thing. All right? Let me just play that now. Nice.
Given Grenada an excellent mark on their most recent reviews. I'm not sure which one of you two would like to answer this. And in terms of the handling of the economy during COVID, and what is the of course, anything about this statement would you like to add? Anything about the statement that has been said by the IMF that you would like to add towards this in terms of the excellent mark that we get? Anything you like to add to that? You folks like to add to that? I'm not sure. Who wants to take a go at it? Go ahead.
But I was going to say, I read the statement. I didn't see that the statement said it was an excellent mark. So I'm not sure if I agree with your analysis. I think the statement was simply, frankly, a regurgitation of what was told to the IMF by the government of Grenada.
Okay, so the statement was simply a regurgitation of what was told, because we can't believe that the thing go down by 2 point. Oh, you lie. Here.
In terms of the excellent mark that we get. Anything you like to add to that? You folks like to add to that? I'm not sure. Who wants to take a go at it? Go ahead.
But I was going to say, I read the statement. I didn't see that the statement said it was an excellent mark. So I'm not sure if I agree with your analysis. I think the statement was simply, frankly, a regurgitation of what was told to the IMF by the government of Grenada.
All right, folks. Yeah, let me go to the phone lines. 440-7377. 347-329, and we have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Hello.
Hi, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Yeah, good night, Sheldon. How you doing?
Hey, I'm fine. You go right ahead, bro.
All right. I don't know. I wish somebody could answer that question for me. We have a lot of defenders in Grenada. I want to find out, since the NDC government reached into office, I would like to know at least 3 projects they start on their own. I never say project they continue with after the new National Party was off. Just 3. I wish 2 or 3 defenders could call and direct me with that, please. Have a good night.
I thank you very much, caller. I'm pretty sure they won't, because they ain't gonna call. They ain't gonna call on that. Believe me. Yeah, we could try. Let me hope they call. 440-7377, 347-329, 3101. Those are the numbers for you to call. and get onto the inside of tonight's program. We Papa, watch our bill. Hey, wow. Yeah, somebody send one of the shopping bill there for me to see. Yeah, say things ain't go down at all. Nice. Yeah, things ain't go down, they go up. The price have increased. Yeah. 4407377. Let's go to the phone lines again. Hello, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Brother Sheldon.
Good evening, sir. Go right ahead. You're live.
Brother Sheldon, when I hear the Prime Minister government talk about the growth in the economy, yes, there could be growth, right? But if there will be growth in the country, right, it should be spelled down to the poor man in the country, the poor man, because what you see happening in the country, a lot of people that was working, they sent home. They sent home and they're not working again. So if there growth, right? I'm not saying there's no growth, but then the growth in the economy should be reaching out to the poor man on the ground, to where things will be better. But what if it happens? The cost of living in the country is skyrocketing, getting higher and higher every day. Higher and higher every day. People can, if you're going to shop with $100, you can buy a bag. Right now, you come with $100, come with some goods in your hand. You hold it in both hands, not with bag, just both hands. Because if the cost gone up, everything gone up, right? But surely things is bad in the country. We're not saying things are bad because we want to see something. It is bad because when you have this water bill go up, electricity bill go up, food bill go up, everything gone up, right? And the people who was working, they were sent home by the government. So we have to ask ourselves a question: what is going on? What good? The report they give a report that make it sound nice to the A or the IMF, but we the people in Greater Carriacou, we don't feel in. We're not benefiting from the growth. We're not benefiting from it because people's life is not better. People going home, a lot of business places closing down because the cost of living going up. And when you come and you bring up the minimum wage, well, the business people don't make much money because things bad because the spending power of the people of Greater Carriacou is got so low, so the business players can't keep them. They don't sell home. Or the four, they might keep two, or they might rotate them. So like you say, they spend $1,000, right, for one worker. They might share that $1,000 among the 4 persons, right? Some places might send home two workers and I only keep 2 working. So the things in the country here is very difficult for the poor man on the ground, and the poor man in the country don't feel in the growth in the economy. Well, Sheldon, I want to say again, the growth in tourism has nothing to do with this government, because from time this government come, I'm looking and I'm searching to see what project this government implement. None. They implement no project. And not only them, in 2000, whenever NDC there, they hardly do have any. They never have, right? Never have, because they invest instead of encouraging investors to come. They always chasing away investors. So, Brother Sheldon, that's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, I think we have another caller online. Hello, good night.
Hello.
Hi, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Good night, Sheldon. How are you?
I'm quite fine. You go right ahead.
I'm fine, thank you. There were a poll conducted on Junior Live's program 2 nights back, and I was looking at that program. And it was Deacon Mitchell versus Keith Mitchell, and in the lead, Deacon was leading. So in my view, I think they may be doing a good job, because if people are still voting for him, and the lead was so lengthy, it was a bad lead. So the thing, Honorable Deacon was 3-something, and Keith Mitchell was like 40-something. So this means that they're doing something good.
No.
Thank you.
Well, hold on, caller. Don't run off yet. You see, that does call and run off. No, let me put it simple as this. If I run a poll right now on Talking Points, and I say, who has been the best prime minister in the history of Grenada? Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will win hands down. You know why? Because supporters of the New National Party, most of them listen to this program religiously every night. And as such, common sense would dictate to anybody with common sense that if you go on an NNP program and you ask who has been the best prime minister ever, you will hear Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will win by a large margin, 600-2. Yeah, you might even hear the other name called. If you go on to Junior George's program, which is a program that has aligned itself head, waist, toe, 6 locks, everything, with the National Democratic Congress, and you ask a question like that, obviously, Popo, you're going to hear that Dr. Mitchell lose because you're going at NDC nest, you go get bites. It's the same reason I say I ain't going in none of the town hall meetings, because it's a NDC function. So when you go onto the ride along or ride schlong or whatever it is, when you go there, it is obviously a NDC program. What do you expect to happen, Popo? So you don't have enough common sense to know that that program is a NDC program. Who does be there? All the NDC government ministers, you don't see them here? No. I don't want them here anyway. Straight up. NNP supporter. I don't want them here. They can't come in my program. But Junior George has an NDC program running. So as common sense would dictate, so maybe you might need to try and search for some of that somewhere, my good friend, would dictate that once you go there, that is what would happen, my dear. That ain't mean nothing. So if you go in the middle of a NDC rally and you say, who is the party you all voting for? You expect the majority of people there to vote to say we vote in NNP? No. You're going to NDC rally, they're going to say they vote in NDC? 100%. But if you go in an NNP rally and they say who are you voting for, nearly 100% of the people would say we vote in NNP. So you're just talking nonsense. But then you have a tendency to do that on various programs. I know your voice. We know who you are. You do that on different programs and so. But what we will not allow is for your nonsense to stand here. End of story. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get on to tonight's program. It is Talking Points, all right? And it's now 26 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock. Folks, the WhatsApp is up and running. The WhatsApp is up and running, so you can give us a call. Yeah, so when it comes to that IMF report, I'm very interested in hearing what it is that they would have to say in relation to it, because from what I've seen there, that means that Grenada's economy is in a precarious situation. It's in a precarious, it's in danger. Let's just put it like that. It's in danger. Because whatever growth you're seeing now can easily be erased if the European Union get up and they decide, because you know what's happening with the European Union now? And I'll come back to that. All right, let me just take this call. Hello, good evening.
Sheldon, I got disconnected.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you get disconnected again. 44073, you're not going to take over my program. 4407377. So, the European Union, if you listen to what's happening with the European Union right now, far-right parties are taking over in most of the European territories and the European Parliament itself. There's a European Parliament. And far-right parties, in some places they call them fascists. Yeah? Many of them eschew xenophobic tendencies. In other words, many of these parties are the parties that are saying, hey, we don't want people from outside our country in our country. Who out? This country belongs to us. And if you've been following on Sky News, on the BBC, and other means and so on, you'd recognize that in the European Union parliaments, far-right parties are taking over. The left-leaning or middle-of-the-road parties that may have more of a soft spot to immigration and people of different color and so on coming to their countries, and so they are losing elections left, right, and center throughout the European Union. And when it comes to the European Parliament elections, these parties are also losing ground. So what is happening throughout the European Union can directly affect CBI. Because if you have far-right parties that are coming in that saying we don't want foreigners in we place, whatever jobs it have here, let our people have it. If we can't find enough people to fill our jobs, then we might consider letting in 1 or 2. That is what these far-right parties are basically saying. They're saying that there are not enough jobs in their country to be able to see after their people, that they don't have enough resources to see after their people, and as such, we don't want nobody else coming we place. So you have Schengen visa, where a Grenadian could go and travel to any of these countries. Eventually, they are going to say, well, if we're seeing Chinese people coming with the Schengen visa, entering our country, and so we've seen significant enough numbers of these people, not just from Grenada and the Caribbean, but from other territories in Asia and so on that have CBI programs, they are eventually going to say, they've already started the process, they are going to say, get rid of CBI. If CBI goes, then even at the reduced rate, because this government is focusing heavily on CBI, even at the reduced rate, we are going to have serious economic problems in the Caribbean and in Grenada. And remember, when your neighbor house is on fire, wet yours too. I didn't say wet your own, don't only study yours. Wet yours too. So we see what is taking place with CBI, and therefore we have to have other means and mechanisms that are put in place to be able to address those issues. Yeah? Right. 44073, to make sure it's clear, 4407377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. And we have, okay, we lost that caller. 4407377. Oh, I see where it is. Yeah. Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Scott. Long time.
Hey, how you doing, my dear?
Good. Well, there is so much to question and to ask. It's too much, Mr. Scott. This I heard that lady mentioned that gentleman's name. I heard he's getting a salary too, you know. I don't know if you're aware of that. Anyhow.
Junior George, I'm afraid to say it. I hear Junior George.
People, the few weeks ago when that game thing was turned off from home, where were they? I wanted to know how everybody, the majority of people kept silent on that great activity, Mr. Scott. What really going on in Grenada? And what's really happening? Okay, another question I would like to ask. With the amount of money these cabinet people getting, do they pay taxes?
I didn't hear that question clearly. I didn't hear that question clearly.
And another question I have here. There is a particular lady always talking Shaggy program defending them by saying that the people is now getting $500.
Mm-hmm.
How much people, is getting that $500? How much people was taken off from the seed program? How much children was taken off from the allowances they have to pay buses and whatever, what to provide for them to help them to go to school? We need some more answers on that, and maybe sometime you could ask Ms. George to come back, Mr. Scott, to do a little more explanation on this seed program with these people, these lying, wicked people, about the seed program. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much, my dear. And don't be a stranger. All right. My good friend there. Yes, I missed the second question in relation to the one with the seed. I did hear the caller this morning. They might know Orlando. They might know Orlando. But anyhow, what I would say is this. They were giving the impression to the Grenadian people, and falsely so, that all households are eligible for the increase up to $500. That is not so. It is for households that have people, in other words, beneficiaries who are over the age of 65. That is, you're speaking nearly under 20% of the people that are under the program. The vast majority are the children who are under the program and so on. So if you're speaking about people over the age of 65, you're speaking about mental patients, and you're speaking about differently abled people. I don't like to use the other term, but differently abled people who may not be able to walk and so on and are bedridden and so. And in my estimation, I don't know, Ms. Lenore, George, you could tell me better, but I think that's roughly what? 20% or 20% of the beneficiaries under the SEED program who are benefiting from the increase. The vast majority are not. So don't give the impression to the Grenadian people that everybody under the SEED program receive an increase. That is false, and all you're doing is upsetting the people that are out there who know for a fact that you're lying. Because it's a lie. Not everybody is getting that increase. There are certain categories of people. The smallest percentage of people under the SEED program are the ones who receive that increase. It was not applied across the board to all of the people. So you have to be over 65, you have to be mentally challenged, or you have to be disabled. I don't like to use that word, differently abled. Yeah? So you have to be differently abled. So those categories of people. So you're speaking 20-30% of the people under the SEED program. So roughly 70 to 80% of the people are not receiving that increase. Be truthful to the people now. Stop trying to just cover up for each other. Stop that nonsense. Yeah? Stop that nonsense. Right? 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on the inside. When they come trying to bamboozle all you that they get wonderful IMF report. You all heard on Talking Points how to respond to them, eh? When they come trying to bamboozle all you all heard on Talking Points how to deal with them. Let them know the IMF talk about making sure they put in place training programs for the young people. Yeah? Not just sending them to New Law or sending them or making them stay in school longer so that you can take them out of the pool of the unemployed so that your unemployed figures look better. No, you have to do something for the young people, tangible. You either expand the existing program and improve it as you say it needs improving, or you create a new program. But don't come with that kind of thing. We have a caller. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, go right ahead, my brother. You're live.
Yeah, then people lying because last year that they do come into power, they say everybody going to get it. They say as long as you don't reach 65 years, you're not getting it. So I'm not getting it. All right.
All right, my brother. So there's a beneficiary letting you know that he's receiving SEED assistance, but he's not getting that additional money under the SEED program. Let me see which one of them is ringing here. I'm not even sure which one is ringing right now. Let me put this here. Nice, right, so I can see it. Good. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers to call on the inside. And let's go to the local line once again. Hello, good night.
Sheldon.
Hi, my dear.
Good night.
Good night to you.
How you doing?
I am quite fine, actually.
I love your outfit tonight.
Oh, thank you so very much. It was an emergency outfit.
Okay. Sheldon, you said so much. You said so much. It will take a while for most of us to digest it.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
But are you telling me, with all that you would have said, that particular caller who called a while ago, she cannot tell you that, okay, well, this you said this and it is not true, and this is the reason why it is not true.
No, they can't do that. They have to try and switch. No, they have to try and switch the discussion onto them and what they want the discussion to be on.
I mean,
so we know better than that.
Look at what you're trying to tell the Grenadian people. Lay it out for them, and I will say put it in layman terms so the ordinary man could understand. I mean, with her right thinking, that's what she could come and tell about. A poll was conducted, and Well, you gave her the right answer, you know. You give her the right answer, and would you believe she's going to call Shaggy in the morning and tell him about the poll again, you know?
But it's a cow poll. If all you let her call Shaggy and all you don't call and respond, well, all you encouraging her.
Woman, you come dead last.
I saying it as it is, eh? Not you, because you call various programs. But some of us as NNP, we let these people get away with these things. They call program, we know their line, and we leave them. We don't call.
That is something for you to call to talk about tonight. I mean, so much thing is being said. Why should you tell me, okay, well, you said this, and I am telling you, this is not true, because this is so and so and so and so. She had the facts. We're coming and talk this nonsense about poll. Woman, keep your poll and graze on the poll if you want, no, man. So long, good night.
All of these talking points, people only have no respect with all your mouth. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Hi, good night. Hello. We may have just been 1 second too late for that particular caller. Let's try again. Hello, good night.
Sheldon, good night. How are you?
Hey, I'm quite fine, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, too blessed to be stressed. Listen, I want to respond to that woman that called about the poll.
No, don't
at what it is.
No, don't let them. Hold on.
Poll,
bro, don't let them
people that voted about 10 times, because I was the first one to vote NNP on that poll. And I have some good friends who called me and cussed me out. All right? And there are a lot of people who voted more than once on that. So when you're talking about numbers, tell them to look at numbers when talking points is posting a program and they had to do poll. All right?
But
don't let that. As you're telling our people, don't let that distract us.
That's the intention, to distract and become the topic. And you see, when we continue responding to her, and I don't want anybody, people, please, don't call on that caller. What I want to find out is the cost of living in the country. If what the IMF is saying and your reality is different, that's what I want to find out. Don't let them take up valuable minutes, because I only have 20 of them on them.
Because we know that the cost of living has skyrocketed. That, you know, the people out here in the diaspora is the one who has to try to help the families back home, because what they're making, the pittance that they're making, could only pay bills, and in some cases, he can't pay the bills for them to have a happy meal. All right, so we know what it is, and this is the issue that we deal with. Call and speak about the issue, and you're doing the right thing. When they do that, they have to run away because they cannot face reality.
No, and when she come back, I'll let the public, when she came back, I cut her off. I didn't cut her off the first time, but I cut her off the second time because, again, you don't want them to become the issue on your program, because you'll spend the rest of the program, people calling and lambaste them, and everything that you've said before is lost. They're trying a trick. So let me just deal with them. Yeah?
Correct.
All right, my brother.
All right.
Thank you so very much.
My brother.
All right. Thank you so very much. All right. Yeah, let's not call and go onto the call. Please, I'm warning you all. Let's not call and go onto that caller. Let us stick to the issue. What I want to know is, when you go in the supermarket, if you see a 2.2% decrease in the prices, because if the IMF is saying that is the information that they've gotten, they obviously ain't get that from the Grenadian people, because that is not what I see. When I go to shop in the supermarket, that is not what I'm seeing. When I go to buy stuff for my son, sometimes, you go get a little snack, and you get his breakfast stuff and that sort of thing, and you get other stuff to cook. And so when I go, what I see is increase by increase by increase by increase. I'm not seeing things going down. I'm not seeing that. So I don't know if maybe I am the only one and everybody else seeing decreases. But for the IMF to come out and say a 2.2% reduction in inflation shows that they were given bad information, yeah? They were given bad information. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good evening.
Sheldon.
Yes, ma'am.
I visited 4 supermarkets today, so I would put it as 3 because one has outlets. Sheldon, on a particular item, in each supermarket, it was just up and up and up. The first supermarket had it like that. The second supermarket had it up here. The third supermarket had it up there. And as I said, 3 supermarkets, but we have 4 supermarkets. It has 2 outlets.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what's really going on? One item, 3 different prices, and the prices is not like 25 cents, 60 cents in difference, dollars and cents in difference. 3 supermarkets. And they have it that cost of living is it's okay, it's down. It's okay.
It's not.
So think about the person
not.
who cannot purchase that item, and think about the person who goes into other supermarket shop where they used to get something, they used to get some things before $60-$50 before. Now they getting what they're getting is less, and they have to pay more for it. So I don't know which cost of living that goes down. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, let's see. All right, caller. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. I think we have a caller. Okay, we lost that one. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah, and we go back to the phone lines. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Yeah, Sheldon.
Hi, my dear. Go right ahead.
That poll that woman speaking about it, that is a poll.
Oh gosh, all you ain't listening. All you ain't listening. Forget them and that poll. We are other business to discuss.
And so tie poll. But Tawe dead now. So the poll still tie up. So let me don't focus on what she's saying, because she always be a defender and shaggy program.
All right.
So Tawe dead already, and the poll just tie on the poll day. Don't bother with them.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right.
All you don't bother with them. All you're giving them what they want. I have exactly 15 minutes remaining. If we take a minute and talk about her, and 2 minutes and talk about her, and 3 minutes and talk about her, we will not be speaking about anything else. The program will end. The thousands of people who are viewing and listening to this program, it will end, and we will not be able to give any more information. So please, I'm saying it again. I'll say it before I take our next call, because I want everybody to hear it. Do not call in relation to that caller. Sometimes you have to be a bit strict with the program. Sometimes people just get upset with me in relation to that. But sometimes you have to be a bit strict. Do not call in relation to this lady and she poll talk. Leave it there. Yeah? Leave it there. I have 14 minutes remaining. And I refuse to take the 14 minutes to be discussing them. All right? We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, let me leave that there.
Yeah.
You know, you heard me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. You go ahead.
Yeah. You know the cost of that little sweet biscuit the other day? I'm feeling for something sweet, so I go in a shop in Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling for something sweet. That little sweet biscuit they call Festival.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, nice look on there.
I used to pay 25 cents for that. And I'm paying $1 per festival right now. So I don't understand. I could understand maybe something go wrong in the supermarket. They take down and put one shelf and bring it lower down. You understand? But cost the price of goods in the supermarket ain't going nowhere. It's up it going. And I'll just give you a little example of them little sweet biscuits. So I'll leave that there for now.
All right. Thank you very much, bro. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers to get onto the inside of tonight's program. And, of course, we say a special good night to those of you listening out there in Canada. My Canadian squad, always watch the Canadian squad, heavy on talking points. We want to say a special good night to each and every one of you. And listen, if you're talking about the seed program as well, the latest statistics that have been put out by the minister herself in one of the town halls shows over 800 people between 2022 and now. Over 800 people have been added to the seed program. Now, if you're adding 800 people, let's go by what they used to say when the New National Party said that we added people to the seed program. According to what the NDC used to say, when we added a 300 or 400 people, or you added 100 and something people to the seed, they used to say it is a reflection of the state of the economy when you're adding people to a program like seed. So if 800 people had to go on to the seed program between 2022 and now, and over to 800 closer to 9, if over 800 people had to be added to the seed program between 2022 and 2024, according to the figures that were read out by the minister on Monday, what does that tell you is happening with the economy? Because these people have to be unemployed and in a certain situation to be able to benefit from that. You also have to find out the unemployment figures from the National Insurance Scheme, because they will be able to tell you how many people have applied for unemployment benefit. I know of several people I've sent who have lost their jobs in the past few weeks, and I've had to tell them, because many people don't know that the National Insurance Scheme has an unemployment benefit. In other words, if you have lost your job through no fault of your own, you didn't cuss up the people and walk off the work, you didn't just walk off, you were fired, or you were sent home, unfairly so, or the business closed down and you lose your job, then you can apply through the NIS for assistance. They would give you some stipend for a few months, as long as you're looking. You have to be actively looking for a job for the stipend to continue. So that they would do that. A lot of people didn't know that exists. So I'm speaking to different people. Sheldon, I lose my job. I'm looking for something. You know anybody? You know any place looking for people and so on. And I told them about the NIS benefit while they're looking for something else to do. So it's important that you know that and that people know that and operate. But it's also important to find out from the NIS what volume of people have benefited from that benefit since it has been introduced. What quantum of money has been spent on it, and what volume, how many individuals have benefited from it, because it would give you a good indication of how many people have been losing their jobs. Not all would be able to benefit from that. Not all would be under that program, but definitely you would have a good idea of what is taking place when it comes to the state of unemployment and so. So the IMF report speaks to several things. One, it speaks to CBI as a main source of revenue, but also a risky source of revenue, that the government has to be careful. Yes, they will see significant inflows through the Russian pipeline into Grenada when it comes to CBI for the year 2024. That ain't lasting into 2025. That wouldn't last into 2025 unless they're doing what I hear they're doing, which is that they still registering people who had not yet applied to the program and backdating documents. If they're doing that, they're in big trouble. Let me just say to the CBI unit, if that is taking place, and if Russian applicants are applying and the applications are being backdated to before the date that you all were supposed to, prior to March last year, all you in trouble. Just say, don't do that. And I'm hearing that there are 1 or 2 agents that have been involved in it, and some of the other agents, they lately hear that kind of thing taking place. So all you be careful. That's all I say. All you be careful. All right, all you know I doesn't say things just so. All right, go ahead. Backdate thing. The U.S. Treasury come for all you. I hope all you could handle it. All right, folks. We have just a couple minutes remaining. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers you can call to get onto the inside. So one is the CBI. The second one is tourism. And we know tourism is going to plateau. But also remember, you have 2 major elections taking place. One in just a couple weeks, which is the UK election, where you have Rishi Sunak and his Conservatives going up against Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. And so we're waiting to see what the outcome of that is, because it will affect the British economy. It will affect the direction that the British economy takes. It will affect the spending power of the average citizen. It will affect the power of the pound, as they call it, the power of the pound, or the spending power of the pound, which means they might be able to come Grenada, or they mightn't be able to come Grenada. They might have to travel to Europe where they just cross through the channel and they go over, they take the ferry over or whatever. They may have to visit Europe, which might be cheaper for them than the Caribbean vacation that they had been thinking about, or they might have to save for longer to be able to come. The advent of the far-right parties in various countries in Europe, some of them being our source markets, Germany and France and so on, these places. When these far-right parties come in, according to the economic measures that they take, it can affect the ability of the average citizen to travel. So the vacation that the husband and wife have been planning, they wanted to come Grenada and go to Carriacou, and they've been planning to go and dive the site outside of Molyneux, and so they've seen it and they've always wanted to come and dive it and so on. Their ability to do that may be restricted. They may have to save for longer before they can come. The same goes with the United States. According to who wins the election, whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats, it is going to affect the direction that the economy heads. Yeah? There's going to be a direct correlation between who is in charge, their policies, and how the economy is run. And that may be positive, it may be negative. We don't know. So we have to look and see what is going on. There are dangers. By hitching your horse to your cart to two horses. One is tourism and one is CBI. That's what this government have hitched their cart to. Yeah? CBI, tourism. And they ride in. But they don't know them two horses could fall along anytime. So you have to be careful. And when we saw with COVID, we know that the Grenadian economy, within just a couple months, that could be it. And if you don't have the proper buffer in place, then you're going to end up in some serious problems. And remember, these people reduced the buffer that is supposed to be put in place. They reduced it, right? So outside of that, remember, you have the possibilities of hurricanes. We're feeling the heat. We know the last time we feel the heat, I ain't going to repeat it, but we know the last time we feel this kind of heat and thing on a daily basis, isn't it? Right. So we know the possibilities there. So we have to be on guard and we have to be prepared, right? So all of these things can directly affect the Grenadian economy. One thing that I didn't see any significant focus on there was agriculture. And we always hear the NDC talking as though they have the ways and means when it comes to agriculture and so on. But you're yet to hear a strategic plan of how to move agriculture from point A to point B in Grenada. We've had significant water shortages for the past few months. We've had a dry season during the rainy season last year. We've had a heat wave. And we are having higher than normal temperatures right now, even in the rainy season. So it means, therefore, that you may have problems. Farmers may have problems in various parts of the island. How do you mitigate against that, and what is the government plan to address that? None. The Minister of Agriculture, I don't know what the Minister of Agriculture may be hiding somewhere. That deferred the last one because it was a waste of time. And then on top of that, are they going to plant the significant number of crops that they used to plant before? Because now you do not have the Marketing and National Importing Board that is going to take significant numbers of these crops off of your hands. This is June the 20th. June the 20th. And we're still waiting to hear what is the new iteration of the Marketing and National Importing Board. We were promised in June. June. That is when we were promised. Not June in 2025 or 2026. June 2024. Mr. Prime Minister, have you on tape? You promised that the Marketing and National Importing Board, the new Marketing and National Importing Board, we know they like to change names, so you go change name, that it would be ready by June. June ain't done yet. It still has some days. And we want to hear that in September it will be coming as that. No, you promised that it would be in operation by June. That was the promise. So we're waiting to see what is taking place when it comes to the Marketing and National Importing Board. Because agriculture has been and will always remain a significant part of the inflows of income coming into Grenada. Cocoa prices have been very high on the world market. Has that filtered back down to the Grenadian farmer? And if so, how has the Grenadian farmer benefited or been able to access that sort of funding to expand their operations, or more people cutting down cocoa trees? Yeah? It's gone down a bit now, but for many, many months, cocoa was like gold on the world market. Yeah? Many countries were benefiting from it. We've heard nothing about how that affected here in Grenada. Yeah? So all of these things, even fishing, multi-million-dollar industry. Grenada tuna is very well sought after as the rest of the OECS. The guys in Petit Martinique, the guys in Guave, the guys in St. Andrew and so on, Marquis and different areas, they've been doing an excellent job going out there in the ocean, bringing the fish in. But what assistance has been given to them through the government to improve what they're doing and make it safer so that we don't have fellas going out in the water to go and fish and then they just disappear and then after a while we just forget about them because they're gone. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days pass, a week pass, a month pass, and then the only person to remember them is the mother when she wake up crying in the middle of the night. Everybody else forget about them. Yeah? What is being done to avoid that happening again? This government is all about show. They're not about actually doing work. Change name on thing, make thing look pretty and all kind of thing. Look at the pay, all the pain they're paying for the independence. Look what's going on with it now, just like the government. Folks, that's all the time that we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here. In everything you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. My name is Sheldon Scott, and yes, we have the Friday night forum taking place tomorrow night. And yeah, you know, it does be a difficult one because believe me, that one does not be an easy one to do. Yeah? From finding babysitter to finding transportation, all kind of thing. It does hit the pocket. Right, folks? So that's all the time we have for tonight. Do enjoy the rest of your night. And I'm going to leave you with Mr. Doe because I know you have a certain listener though called Shaggy in the morning. Now, Shaggy, how will you play this one when they call in the morning?
Well, I know about John Doe, but I never heard about Olan. Maybe that's his brother. They say his name is Olan, and he is the PM right hand. Is he making all decisions as to how this country's governed? People want to know where he come out, so with a son named Doe. Him they never knew. Olan doesn't care about poor people. He do as he please. Maybe he's a PM too. Tell me, who send home them Imanis? And who take back the monies? Who running all them vendors? Poor people trying to make $1. Every decision, every law that pass, Mr. Doe in charge. Olan is the boss, the boss, the boss. They say he's a very fierce skin, very fierce skin man, but I don't know him. But where he come out, sir? Jubilee celebration, 50 years a grand occasion. People all over the nation preparing to feel that sense of freedom. But right before the day, news come out and say, no music can play, no session, no way. Olan made it clear to the whole nation. He wanted all eyes zooming on the stadium. Boy, you're mad. Who held the country hostage and take away we privilege? Put us under lock and key. Hard us like some independent zombies. Every decision, every law that pass, Mr. Doe in charge. Olan is the boss, the real boss. Well, and where you get all this power from? Is he the people vote for to lead? Where he come out, sir? People asking how could one man hold so much different positions? They say his salary is about up 30 grand a month. Olan is the chief in command. Even ministers who did win this seat with the powers he have could treat them like so they could vex the boss, but can't say a thing, cause they know this country is run by Olan and Deacon. Tell me who decides on promotions and in which ministry they function. They must have respect for Olan, or they not running next election.